Scott,
Yes.
that explosion in the third quarter, what led to that? How would you describe what happened?
Really not sure. I mean, we were just we played inspired basketball for each other. We've talked about that many times. You know, it's about playing for each other, and we've been doing that all year, and it's probably our best stretch of basketball. You know, defensively, we were in the right position. We made some adjustments at the half. We didn't make silly mistakes that we made early in the game, and it pays off. You make them take tough shots over a hand and rebound and get out and use our speed. You know, John is one of the fastest point guards in the league. We got some good shooters on the wings, and we have to take advantage of that. But it doesn't work if we don't lock in on the defensive end.
Scott, along those lines, during that run, I think you guys forced 6 turnovers, 5 missed shots, turned that into the 26 points. Just, was that the best defensive stretch of basketball that you've seen?
Yes. I mean, you don't anticipate going into a game against, you know, they had the best record in the East, and be on, like, I think it was like a 26-0 run after they scored the first 4 or 5 points with the timeout in between. But that happens. I mean, it's happened to us, maybe not to that extent, but it happens. And defensively, it really gave us a chance to get out in transition, and we were active. We were solid in our positioning, and we have to continue to do that. With all that being said, we won our 2 home games. When we were down 2-0, our guys don't panic. They believe in each other, and we knew that we had to come home and take care of business. Now the series is tied, and we're looking forward to going up to Boston.
Scott, right in front of you. Isaiah Thomas was on a little bit of a roll early.
Yeah.
And you guys pretty much put the clamps on him. Can you explain defensively what you guys did to be able to literally put him to a halt?
Well, we made quite a few mistakes early, things that we've talked about after game 2, and we can't have that. If you do, it's what you see: a 3, a 3, a drive, a 3, a 3, a drive, and you have to be able to execute our game plan. And with that even being said, it's not guaranteed that he's going to miss shots, but he had wide open looks, and they made an adjustment, and I thought we did a good job of figuring that out. And we have to be aware how he plays. And like I said, he's one of the hardest guards to guard in this league. He gets wherever he wants with his ball handling skills, and we have to make him continue to see a crowd.
Coach, Adesina Koike, a lot of sports talk. The Celtics hit 5 threes in that first quarter, 8 in the first half, and Thomas had 5 of those threes. Were you worried that this was going to be game 1 all over again with Boston hitting 19 threes, and was that the main point of emphasis at halftime, just shutting off those 3-point looks?
Yeah, you know, you're going to give some shots up. They're a good team. They move the ball. They got a lot of good players, but you can't give up the easy, wide-open threes, and that's what we did in that first quarter. And when you do that, you're hoping that they miss, and they're not going to miss often. If they have a miss, if they miss, it's because they miss. It's not because we made them miss in that first quarter. And we made some adjustments, and I thought the guys did a good job of locking in on him. He's, like I said, he's one of the hardest guys to guard in this league.
Scott, knowing how hard it is to play on the road in this league, what has to be different now for you guys in Game 5 that was not there early in Games 1 and 2 up there?
Well, we had 2 leads in that first game, and then, you know, it basically came down to we had the ball tie score with 14 or 15 seconds left. We were 1 shot from winning that game, so it's not like we can't go up there and play good basketball. We have to go up there and play really good basketball, and then we got to finish quarters, and we got to finish our opportunities out with a good defensive possession, with a good offensive possession, just kind of like what we've been doing. It's not going to be easy. We had a great crowd tonight, and they have a great crowd up in Boston. But the game is played on the court. The crowds give you some juice, but it's focused. We just have to focus on what we do and try to do it as well as we can.
Scott, Markieff Morris, what he was able to do, popping for threes, I know that's something you said you want to see him take more of. How does that, in terms of spacing, create what you were able to do tonight? And that size advantage that you guys have against them, the second game in a row you dominated in rebounding where you didn't do in the first 2 games. Is that part of, I guess, the formula of success that you've had here?
I mean, there's no question. You have to reel the rebound. I thought they had, I don't know, 16 second chance points last game, and then they had 10 this game. We've talked about that. Give our guys all the credit because they've focused and locked in what they beat us the first 2 games at. We got to do it again. The Karpf is, he's a special player. I love coaching him. I like his toughness. I like his passion. He's a matchup problem. We don't care if they go small or big. We know if we have Karpf on there, he can guard smalls or he can guard bigs, and we feel very comfortable when they have smalls out there because he can guard, and he can score, and he can take the guy out off the dribble from the 3-point line. He's a skilled basketball player, and John does a good job, and Brad does a good job of finding them.
What was the key to not only defending Isaiah Thomas, but not sending him to the free throw line once in this game?
We got to keep our high hands. You got to keep high hands. Like all the great players in this league, they see your hands down, they're going to go through it, and they're going to get easy calls. We got to keep our hands high, and I thought our bigs, we've been working on that. We've been talking about that. We've been showing them, and with all that, it's still hard to do because the temptation is to put your hand in the cookie jar, and he's so clever. But I thought our bigs did a good job of staying vertical. And it's hard to do when he's penetrating to the basket to do that. But our guys were really disciplined tonight, and we got to do it again Wednesday.
Scott, when John starts the game 0 for 9, I know in hindsight your answer may be different now, but when he's that cold at the start, what are you thinking? And are you confident that he can bounce back the way that he did tonight?
Well, I've only had the sample size of 1 season, and I don't think it bothers him that he can't make the next one. It bothers him that he didn't make them. He definitely doesn't want to go 0 for 9. But there's certain players that it lets you bother you for the next shot, and that's what I love about him. He focuses on the next play. He made a big 3, kind of got him going, and our defensive activity got us going in transition. He ended up having a really, really great game of leading our team defensively, offensively, and Brad. We've been talking about Brad. The guy is, like I keep saying, and I see it every night, every practice, he's one of the best 2-way players in the league, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Hey, Scott, what, if anything, did you see different from Brad tonight in terms of whether energy, focus, whatever it is, to allow him to have a kind of a bounce-back game?
Well, he hasn't shot the ball well, but it hasn't affected him in the last 2 games, our last game of defending, and he did a good job of defending last game. But defensively, like I said, he's one of the best defenders in the league. He takes pride in it. He's had, he was raised the right way on the basketball court. There's two ends of the floor, and it's not always about offense, but he's so gifted offensively, he's so smooth offensively that you kind of gravitate towards that. But he's a 2-way player, and he's been great the last 2 games. All right, you guys have a good night.